to make a video of the reformer workout. So I'm going to explain how many springs, where you place the foot bar, the headrest, what accessories you need, and that sort of thing, in case you have a reformer at home or you're thinking about purchasing one, or you just are very interested in maybe thinking about finding someone to teach you a private session in their studio. So I'm going to start with footwork. Footwork is the first exercise in the reformer workout. It gets us warm into the big muscles. So I take the foot bar at the low level. So there's these two little handles that you can make it higher or lower. I bring it lower. Lower is a little more of a challenge for the core because the legs are on a lower working level plane. And then my springs are 2 reds and a green, which is pretty heavy. So with a lot of my newer clients, I may take out that green and just do 3 reds. So when it comes to springs, the reds equal 1. The green is 1 1/4. And then I also have a blue spring, which is a half. So if you will, like 3 1/2 springs and that sort of thing. There is also a yellow, which I don't have, but a yellow is a 1/4. So that is a little bit of the anatomy. This is what I call what is called the carriage. These are the shoulder rests. This is the headrest. So when you go into foot bar or into footwork, you want to sit right at the very corner of the carriage and then lie back. So oftentimes, when you lie back, you'll be a little too close and you'll have to do a little wiggling, and that's just what you have to do. Give yourself about 1 inch from the shoulder rests, platform arms by your sides, and then heels together, toes apart in Pilates V. We want our knees to track where our toes are pointing, and then just press back, resist in. Inhale and exhale. Think of your lateral breathing, the same as the Pilates mat work. The ribs go wide on the inhale and they get skinny on the exhale. And we always want to resist coming into the bumper. Do 3 more. We do 10 each of our footwork. And then when you come back in, we do another variation of footwork, which is called perch. So we take the legs to a parallel position about hip width. Curl your toes over the foot bar like a bird holds onto a perch, and let the heels release. So we aren't doing a calf raise at all, just leaving the heels heavy. Being sure your tailbone points straight ahead and your head is relaxed in the headrest. Just press, resist. So this one helps us strengthen the arches of the feet. I find that if I gaze more forward, I tense my neck. But if I gaze straight above me, in front of my face on the ceiling, then my head is heavier and my neck is more relaxed. And on this one, you just want to make sure your knees are tracking straight up toward the ceiling, in line with your hips. For 3, 2, think of firming your thighs at the top. 1, and come in. Now, heels on the bar. So just the heel, flex your feet. We're still in a parallel position, spreading out your toes. You want to feel some air in between your toes. This one gets us more into the back line of the leg, up into the glute. So just press, resist. Inhale, exhale. We're still forming the quads in the front, but especially on the initiation of the press, you feel more hamstring and glute. Resist the bumper. Squeeze it at the back. 3 more. And then come back into the bumper. And we'll set up for high heels. So still in a parallel position, we're going up to the tiptoes. Lifting the heels as high as you can. In this one, we get to the calves more because we get to do a calf raise. So feeling your neutral spine. Remember, you want to think navel toward the spine and your back is in its natural place. And then press back with your heels high. Straighten your legs. Lower your heels under the bar. Raise your heels up and then bend the knees, resist the bumper. So this is a 4-parter. So you go back, lower your heels, lift your heels, and resist it in. When you're coming back in, try to keep your heels nice and high and resist. Relax your chest. Think of softening here. The effort's coming from the belly, like the waist down. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. A lot of times people get more confused when there's 4 parts to an exercise versus 3, which makes sense. It's twice as big and long. But just stay calm calm and you'll get it. And don't worry if at first you get, kind of jumbled up with the knees, wanting to bend when they need to be straight. Do 2 more. And then come back in to the bumper. The next one is like the opposite of Pilates feet. It's going into pigeon-toed. So bring the big toes together, press your heels apart. Make sure your sacrum's heavy, engage your low belly. We're working our inward rotation in the hips, so really keep pressing your heels out and your knees in. Your legs won't straighten all the way on this one because when you do, they'll separate and we want to keep them together. So just bend it back in and press, keeping your knees touching and your inner thighs engaging the whole time. Heavy head. That's an indication your neck isn't tense. 4 more. And then come back into the bumper. Hug your knees into your chest. So those are the basic footwork exercises. There are variations, add-ons, and other things, but that's just a good starter. And then the next thing you'll do is have to adjust for arms in straps, or arms, supine arms. Your hands are going to hold the handles. So to set up for supine arms, we have no bar. It was on the low bar for footwork. We pull this up and slide it all the way down, and it's no bar for supine arms. Then I do usually a red and a blue. If I've got some people who are really strong and maybe working on building more strength, then you can do 2 reds. If you've got someone newer or you're wanting it to be a more gentle practice, you can just do 1 red or 1 green, because remember, green is 1 1/4, a red and a blue is 1 1/2. So you decide, when you're working out, how you're feeling that day. Every day is different, but the majority of the time I do a red and a blue. The headrest is still up, and I always have my reformer ready with the handles since supine arms is after footwork. So this is the handle, and it's attached to the straps. You just use your hook and you bring it there. So when I'm working out by myself, I go ahead and have the hooks on these poles so they'll be ready for me. And then same way to get down, you sit on the corner edge and flip to your back, giving yourself a little space between the shoulder rests. Then lift your knees up, find the handles. We want long fingers and wrists so we don't grip. That's a wasted energy, and it uses more of our hand, wrist, forearm. We want to think more of our arms than, up high into the arms than down low. So long fingers, long wrists. I'm checking for kinks, which happen often. And then you're just going to pull the arms down by your sides. Think of your lats, fingers forward, and resist. So it's pull, resist. Keep the sacrum down, the belly scoot. Inhale, exhale. So with the supine arms, you can do about 8 repetitions of each. This one, when I finish the 8 repetitions, I usually go right into the 100, which is just like it is on the mat work, but we're holding the handles. So you'll bring the arms down, curl to C curve, gaze to the navel. You could keep legs bent or take them out to a working level. Pilates V, glue your heels and puff. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. The head stays still. The ribs are expanding on the inhale. The ribs are shrinking on the exhale. You want to lengthen your arms. That's how you work down the sides, into the lats. Toning your glutes. That can be hard because you're doing so many things at once, but try to remember to keep a little bit of tone there. That's your powerhouse. 3 more. Stop pumping, bend your knees, roll back, fingers come to the ceiling, and then take them to a V shape. So not wide yet, not straight up, in that space in between, holding your legs up with belly, and just pull, resist. Inhale and exhale. But I will tell you, you can reverse that breath, it's fine. You could exhale as you come in and inhale as you open. Either one works here. There's effort both ways, right? Because we resist coming back. 2 more. take the arms out to a T shape. Try not to lock your elbows and just squeeze it in by your sides and open just to a T. Don't go beyond your shoulders' height. Take care of your shoulders. If you ever feel like you're too up close to the shoulder rest, you can take a pause and wiggle. 3 more. And then a big circle. So holding your legs up with core, you bring it by your sides up to the ceiling and out. Because we're on a moving surface, it's unstable, our abs are engaging. Even though we really feel like, oh, I'm working on my arms, we're also working on our core. 2 more this way. Inhale halfway, exhale halfway, and then you reverse it. So go out, up, down. Inhale, exhale. Keeping your movement smooth and your breath connected. Try not to hold it. 2 more. So on this next one, take your arms out to the sides and do a little tiny circle. So sometimes what happens is people kind of flap up and down instead of circle. So make sure you push tension into the straps and don't lose it, or it'll turn more into like a bird flap. And then reverse your direction. And then bring it by your sides, palms are down, and this one's for the triceps, the backs of the arms. So holding your legs up, make sure they don't start dipping forward. That'll put pressure in your back. Press the arms down into the carriage and bend them up and squeeze. You want to really think about your triceps, the backs of the arms, when you're lengthening in your squeeze so that you give it that little bit of extra oomph. Every once in a while, just check on where you're relaxing. We're not tense all over. 2 more. And then the next one is called the awkward circle. So you only circle the forearm and keep the upper arm still and stationary. This gets to all the heads, all 3 heads on each of your triceps. This helps you get even stronger in the backs of the arms, which tend to get weak because we don't use them like over and over again. We use them to get up and down, maybe out of a chair, off the floor, out of the bed, but otherwise they don't get a whole lot of everyday work. And then reverse your circle. Press the arms down. That sometimes can be the hardest part, is keeping the upper arm still. And then come back into a bent arm, and I'll take you right into coordination. So you're going to curl the C curve. This is your beginning. Place a nice tuck. Straighten your arms and legs, Pilates V. Then open the arms and legs, squeeze them in, and bend into your tuck. Your head stays up the whole time. So it's working level, out, together, pull. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, squeeze. So you're working on that stability from your core. 2 more. Bring it back in, lay your head down. And then the last one I'm going to do is the L arms, which help work more into your obliques, external and internal. So start with your arms extended, palms down, legs up, and then take your left arm out to the side and your right hand up to the ceiling. Then feel the obliques as you pull it in. Then right arm out to the side, left hand up to the ceiling, pull. Inhale, exhale. So you want to feel that connection in the obliques here. A lot of this is mindfulness. You could go through these motions without using the proper muscles, but you don't want to. You want this to be efficient and effective. 4 more. Then come back to the bumper. And then when you're coming out, you just hook your handles on the hooks. You might hug your knees, or I like to hang over the bar and let my arms go. Next, we'll set up for feet in straps. So next is feet in straps, and because our legs are a little stronger than our arms, I take the weight up a little heavier. So I had a red and a blue for the supine arms. For feet in straps, I usually do 2 reds. But If you're having any kind of back issues, it's a lot of pressure, so I would maybe keep the red and the blue, or just a red if you really need to. If you felt really strong, you were working more on building more strength in your body, you could do 2 reds and a blue, so it'd be a little heavier. And then it depends on your reformer. With my reformer, I have to come up to the hook and take the handle off, then up at the top, unhook to bring it to long strap. This is called the long strap, and there's a loop there, and that's where the foot goes. So you just unhook the handle, come up to the top, take one part out so your hooks are ready for your feet, and then you hang it right here. So getting into it the same way, you just sit on the corner edge, flip to your back, giving yourself a little space between the shoulder rests. The headrest is still up here. And then take your straps. When you've got a teacher, they help you do this. When you're by yourself, you just press back, lift one foot, and hook the strap around the arch. And then you give a little push into that foot to bring your other one up. And then adjust, wiggle, feel comfortable. Arms are platform. So the first one is frog legs, Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Line up your knees with your toes on that same plane. Platform arms, and we just press it forward, resist it in. You never want to feel like the straps and the springs are pulling you. You are in control. Contrology, remember, Joseph Pilates' name for his exercises. Do 3 more. So, except for footwork, we do usually between 3 and 8 of everything. Footwork, you usually do about 10. You're warming up and it's big muscle time. Now hold it out here in Pilates V. Keep your legs long. And then just lift your toes to the ceiling. Try not to let it pull your back up off the carriage. That's abs when you press it down. And then lower working level. So exhale up, inhale lower. Check that your neck is loose, head is heavy. You even want your facial expression to be soft. 3 more. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. And then come to the top and go to parallel. So just squeeze your legs together nice and tight. Bend your knees in toward your chest. Don't worry about where the straps go. They can go on top of, outside of, whichever works with your leg length. And then press it to working level. It also has to do with your working level. Keep your low back on the carriage. So you don't want to let your tailbone roll up. You want your tailbone to press directly out in front of you. You get a lot of inner thigh work on feet and straps. So squeeze them in. 3 more. Wide ribs, skinny ribs. Now leave this one out, and then we're going to do a double leg lower lift with this leg. So just lift your toes to the ceiling without your back changing, and lower. It's that neutral spine we always try to maintain. Everything pulling in, still our parallel position of the legs. And you want to feel the glutes, part of it. They are part of the powerhouse. It's not just our abs. 2 more. And then just bring it about halfway working level and go to pigeon toes. So big toes together, heels apart. Be very mindful and careful as your knees come together, and you'll get a nice low back stretch. Keep pushing your heels out and then press. So your knees do get to separate there. So knees come together, knees separate, but we're just mindful. We don't want to knock the knees into each other. We want to be very mindful and careful with our bodies. 4 more. Scoop your belly. Think of your legs pulling in because your abs are pulling them in. On this next one, leave it out. Keep the pigeon toe position and lift to the ceiling and lower. Exhale, inhale. Check that your shoulders don't start to tense, especially when you get a little tired. The platform arms, think the fingers pressing down helps. 2 more. And then bring it to the top into a parallel position, and we'll draw squares, no wider than the carriage. So take your legs about the width of the carriage, bring them to working level, close them together, and back to the ceiling, keeping your back neutral the entire time. So it's out, down, together, up. Breathe in, Breathe in, breathe out, breathe out. Do one more square. And then take out the corners and make that a circle. Still the width of the carriage. You're just smoothing it out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And when you get to the top, find Pilates V, and we'll do a bigger circle. So go as wide as you feel safe and comfortable. Lead with your heels at the bottom and come up. Inhale. Exhale. So you think inhale halfway, exhale halfway. 1 more. And when you get back to the top, find your parallel legs, and we'll do all that the other direction. So with legs together, go to working level. Then as wide as the carriage. Up to the ceiling, keep your spine neutral, close it in. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. You're just drawing a square in space. Lift, press your back down. 1 more square, then take out the corners and turn that into a circle, the same width, the width of the carriage. Inhale, exhale. Swing it around and scoop your belly deep. 1 more. Then go to Pilates V, big circle. So it's down, go as wide as you're comfortable, and together at the top. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Use your glutes a lot more on these. Hold it at the top, and then we'll just find a stretch. So let your legs just kind of fall toward you. And it's okay in the stillness of the stretch if the tailbone and low back come up just a bit. Then press the back down and come to a little butterfly. So feet together, knees apart. We let the straps pull the feet back, and our hands can actually press the knees forward. And then we did a lot of inner thigh work. So you want to get a good inner thigh stretch. Grab your straps in your hands, and then just take the legs out wide. Gently encouraging your legs out wider with your hands. And then bring it back in. You can just one at a time or both together slide your feet out. Gently come to the bumper. You always want to treat the reformer pretty carefully and not bang and stuff into the bumper. And you can hang them back. You might want to hug your knees here a little. And that is the beginning of the reformer workout. And those are basic. So if I don't have a lot of time but I want to jump on here, that is usually what I do, those 3 parts. And with most, especially hour-long clients, I'll fit all of that in because it gets a little bit of everything. And there are other add-ons and variations, but that's a good way to show you the foundation to see if you're interested in the Pilates reformer. Thank you. Namaste.